yes. Oh, good evening, friends. Oh, thank you for coming to see me. It's so kind of you. For those of you who might not know, my name is Ebenezer Scrooge, better known in some social circles as Ebby. Welcome, friends, welcome. I've been doing a little Christmas shopping, you might see, and I'm incorporating a new Christmas tradition here. Now then, you might find it strange that Mr. Scrooge, the bah humbug, Mr. Scrooge, that was the old one, and now this is the new one. I enjoy Christmas now, and do you know what I enjoy the most about Christmas? I enjoy reading my fan mail. Who would have thought it? After all these years, over 150 years, I think I'm rather well preserved, don't you? Well, that's a side point. After all these years, who would have thought I still get fan mail? I think I'll read a few, with your permission, of course. Very nice. Hand-embossed stationery. Rare content, I might add. Yes. Dear Mr. Scrooge, we all enjoy reading and your novel and etc., yes. And the grandchildren do. Oh, well, that's good. Here at the castle. Oh dear, the castle. Yes, and etc., and it's signed Elizabeth R. Elizabeth R. Why didn't she? Elizabeth R. Good heavens! It's Queen Elizabeth. God save our gracious Queen. Queen Elizabeth. Something to remember. Yes, I always usually look at the things. Let's see, there's a few. Oh, let's look at something over here. No, that is a little too interesting. Look at this here. That's an inevitable. Every year, someone asks the inevitable question, Mr. Scrooge, which one of the spirits frightened you the most? Now then, if it had been the old Mr. Scrooge, I would have answered promptly, you idiot, which one did you think frightened me? But that's the old Scrooge, and I'm the changed Mr. Scrooge, yes. But you all know that story, I'm sure, don't you? If you will allow an old man to perhaps reminisce some, yes. Molly was dead. Yes, and that's how it began. It was Christmas Eve, and Bob Cratchit and I had worked all day. Of course, I had worked harder than Bob Cratchit had, but anyway. And I'd let him go, and he wanted Christmas Day off, and I said, yes, take the whole day if you must be here all the other the next morning. And I locked up the shop, and at which point I walked home. While I walked home, well, I went to the door, put my key in the door, and I looked up, and it looked like Molly's face in the knocker. And I said, oh, silliest thing I've ever heard. And I got into my house, and I ate my gruel. And then I heard it. Chains rattling, oh, terrible, and boxes and tin, and all being dragged on the floor, and moans and groans, and I didn't know what to expect, and all of a sudden, there was Molly. He materialized before me, all dressed in gauzy grave clothes, and smelled of the grave he did. It was terrible, and I wasn't real sure what I was seeing. I looked at him, and that's when he spoke to me. He said, you don't believe in me, do you? And I laughed and said, no, I don't. And then he said, well, why not? And I said, well, you might be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, that's what. And then, he let out the most horrible screaming yell. Oh, and his chains rattled. And at that point, I was a little more frightened of him. Then I asked him, Molly, what are those chains that you pull around? Those tin boxes and cash boxes, what are they? And he laughed in a hideous, evil laugh, and he said, Those are the things that I made in real life, and I must drag them throughout eternity. Whoa, that's eternity! I don't want to hear it, you have to hear some more, he said. And he said, Ebenezer, if you do not change your ways, you too will be doomed to eternity to drag all of your sins with you. I don't want to hear any more about it. And then he was gone. Then he turned back around, visualized again, and he said, you will be visited by 3 spirits. 3 spirits? Oh, I'd rather not, he said. The first at 1, the second at 2, and the third at 3. And he vanished. Oh, it was all a foolishness and humbug, I thought. No such thing as spirits and ghosts, and I went about my business, and I went to sleep. The clock struck 1. Ball. And when it did, I peeked out from behind my bed curtains, and I didn't see a thing. And I thought, it is as I expected. It's all humbug and foolishness, and then I felt something swirling around, but I couldn't see it. And I looked in every nook and corner of my bedchamber, you see, and there it was. It was that diaphanous creature that floated around through the air, you see, and it was an old creature. It looked like an old man, but the man was very spry, like a child it was, and I wasn't really afraid, and I looked at it and I said, who are you? And the creature said, I am the ghost of Christmas past. Long past, said I. No, said the creature in the spirit, your past. Come with me. Well, I was a little hesitant, of course, and I said, where to? Come with me to your past. And the creature flew around me, grabbed my hand, and up we went to the rooftops of London. And I looked down and I said, a fall, don't let go of me. And then I was in another place. I was in another time. I looked around, and there was my old school. I enjoyed school, and there, on a little stool, was a solitary little boy. He looked so forlorn and sad, and I looked at the little boy and went, oh, the little boy was me. I didn't get to go home much during Christmas, you see. My father and I, a terrible childhood. But then, happy day, my dear sister Fan, she ran in and we danced around, and I said, Fan, you're here? And she says, I've come to take you home, Ebenezer. Father's so much nicer now. And off we went. And as we were leaving, the spirit grabbed my hand, and the next thing I knew, we were flying around. And there we were. Oh, it was a magnificent warehouse, filled with Christmas decorations and laughter and music. And I looked up, and there, coming round the corner, was Fezziwig. Oh, dear old Fezziwig. Oh, I so liked him. He was such a jolly, kind man. He was my employer when I was an apprentice, and oh, he always gave the most wonderful Christmas parties, you see. Oh, and he was always so kind to us, and I remembered how unkind I was to Bob Cratchit. But anyway, we were dancing, and while we were dancing, I looked up, broke away from my partner, for there was Belle, my beautiful Belle. And I tried to talk to her because she couldn't see or hear me, because she was in the past. Belle. And I remember she was talking to me as a young man, and she looked at the man, me, And she said, Ebenezer, you have found a new love. And I said, of course not. Of course I haven't found a new love. I love you. And she said, no. You have found a new love, Ebenezer. The love of money. She disappeared. And Mr. Fezziwig disappeared. And I told the spirit, I can take no more of this. Take me back. Take me back. Back. And he did. And all of a sudden, the spirit disappeared. And I thought, oh dear. Yes, dear Isabel. And ledgers. And money. Oh, but then I went, no! The second hit 2. Oh, what? Bong, bong, the clock struck 2. And I hid myself behind the curtains because I didn't know what to expect. And then I poked my head out. And I heard this laugh. It was the jolliest laugh I had ever heard. Made me happy just to hear it. And then I blinked my eyes, and my bedroom would have been turned into this magnificent banquet hall, and there were tables laden with the finest food, savory, oh, what a smell, and crystal chandeliers, and all of a sudden, there before me, a giant materialized, and he was laughing, and oh, he was resplendent in green velvet gown with white fur. Had a holly wreath on his head. It was most joyful. And I said, and might I ask who you are, good sir? And he said, I am the ghost of Christmas present. Oh, really, a Christmas present? And I'm assuming you're going to, yes, touch me, yes, I know that. Oh! And before I knew it, we were off. And there we flew over the housetops of London, and we flew, and I came down. Pop! Look, spirit of Christmas present said. Look at what? We're in the slums here, my gosh. Goodness gracious alive, mercy me. It's dirty and it's filthy, and look at this house here, yes, where I adjusted my spectacles, and I looked through the grimy window. It was Bob Cratchit's house. His wife and his children. No, they were so happy and dancing around, and I thought, how can they be happy and dancing? I don't pay him enough for him to be happy and dancing. And then I saw on the table scrawniest excuse for a goose I had ever seen. Looked like a dead pigeon from Trafalgar Square or something. But they were so happy. And as I was looking, I saw a little boy sitting by the fireside on a little stool. And there was a little crutch, you see. And that was a little boy named Tiny Tim. And he looked ill. And I looked at Christmas presents, and I said, Christmas present? Is the little boy ill? And he said, what does it matter to you? And I said, is he ill? Will he die? And that's when Christmas present reminded me of something I had said long, long ago. Are there no prisons, nor the workhouses in forth? If they die, let them do it, and decrease the surplus population. Take me someplace else, Christmas present, I said. And he did, and off we went. I got tired of flying over London, chimney smoke up my gown. It was terrible, yes, and he plopped me back down. Looked through the window, I felt like a peeping Tom or something. I looked through the window. There was my nephew, Fred. Now, the old Mr. Scrooge would have called Fred a twit, which he was. With the nice Mr. Scrooge, we get along now, but my nephew Fred is still a little twitty, if you know what I mean. But there they all were, dancing in the present and laughing and carrying on just like the Cratchits were. And they started playing a game. And I love playing games. When I play games, I'm like a child again. And they were asking questions, and who is the meanest, or who is the unkindness, and they were answering back and forth. And then finally, someone jumped up and said, I know who all these people are. It's your mean, nasty Uncle Scrooge. I thought to myself, they're making fun of me. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go away. Take me back. The Christmas present laughed. And the next thing I knew, I was in my bed again. And I realized, number 3, the third spirit, the ghost of Christmas future, the one I feared the most, to answer the letter. And I pulled my bed curtains around me. I didn't want to see it. And then I did see it. In the blackness of my room, not a candle burning, there was another blackness. It rose up before me, and it was diaphanous, and its gown was flowing black. It had a hood over it, and I tried to find the creature upon it, but there was nothing. And I said, "Are you the ghost of Christmas is yet to be? Are they the things that will be, or can they be changed?" And the ghost just did this with a long bony finger, and I knew I had to follow it. We flew again, and there I was, plopped down, and I looked in. I was in my own bedroom. I was hovering over it, and there were people in there. We were laughing and carrying on, and someone was stealing my bed curtains and my bedclothes. I was not happy. And then the ghost pulled me aside. It was back at Bob Cratchit's house, and that's when he made me look in the window again. There was no laughter this time. They were crying, all crying. And Bob was not there, and I looked for the fire, and I looked at the little chair, and there was no one in it. The little crutch was there, but where's Tiny Tim? They're all here and they're crying, "Spirit, where is Tiny Tim?" There was a rustling of the wind, the dappled moonlight through the trees, and next thing I knew, I was in the graveyard. It was foggy and misty. And there was Bob Cratchit. He was crying, you see. I'd never seen Bob cry. He was always so kind-hearted and laughing, joking. And then there was a little mound of earth and a little cross, and Bob got up and walked away, and I knew he couldn't hear me, but I said, Bob, tell me what?" And that's when I saw it. The mound of earth, and the little wooden cross, and there on the cross it said, "Tiny Tim." And I knew that I had probably not helped him, and he died, and I could have helped him. And I went to go away, and the spirit pulled me back, and there, rising up out of the ground and turning round, was this great marble monument. And as I got closer to it, tried to decipher the name, I adjusted my spectacles. It said, "Ebenezer Scrooge." And I said, "Spirit, no, I have learned my lesson, I promise." And then it was as if all the demons of hell would surrounded me. and their claws and their anger and all, and I said, Spirit, 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 take me away, take me, take me, take me away. And the next thing that I knew, he did take me away. And I was in my own bedroom, and my bed curtain was still there. And I hurt myself. Oh, you're alive. You're alive. No, the spirits have done it all in one night, and I'm alive. And it's Christmas morning, and it was at that time I went down on my knees beside my bed. And I looked up toward the good master, and I said, I promise you, I will keep Christmas in my heart all the year and honor it every day of my life. And I did. Blow my nose. I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have let me reminisce like this. Nothing like an old man reminiscing about things that don't matter anymore, I guess. But it was a life-changing event for me, my good friends, and I've never forgotten it, and neither should you. Neither should you, for Christmas is a joyous time. Family and presents and love and laughter. But it's also a time to remember a baby. A baby born in a manger. A baby born in poverty, but rose a king to save us all. Well, sorry. Reminiscing again. I will let you go, my good friends. I will read some more letters and enjoy the evening, but I do thank you for coming. Indulge me one more letter. Here we go. Oh, very savory lady's perfume. Dear Mr. Scrooge, may I call you Ebenezer? Well, if you must, yes. I so enjoy you, and I think you are cute as a button. Well, can't argue with that, yes. I also enjoy you so much when you run through the streets in your nightgown. I, too, enjoy running through the streets in my nightgown, and I'm a elderly widow, 106, and I was wondering perhaps marriage. Oh dear, no. Well, this is one letter that will go in the do not return reply. May I ask you, please, remember to keep Christmas in your heart all your life. And as Tiny Tim would say, where's that pillow? Someone gave it to me. Oh, there it is. Yes. As Tiny Tim would say, God bless us, everyone. Good night, everyone. Yes, 106. Oh, that would be a sign. Good night, all. Yes.